Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Almost Martha. Today I'm having like a tailgate party. If the tailgate could be my coffee table, because I'm having some people come over. We're going to watch a sporting event, so I've got all kinds of fun little appetizers, basil feta dip. Recipes on my website, deviled eggs, recipes on my website. I'm going to make little sliders, and I thought, something I haven't had in a long time, toasted ravioli. Last summer, I visited some friends in St. Louis, and I had toasted ravioli for the first time in, decades, and it was really good. And I thought, I can make that. I can try to make that at home. So that's what we're going to make. This is a St. Louis tradition. It is a St. Louis treat. I lived there for many years. And today we are going to replicate toasted ravioli. All right. I saw some recipes online for this that said you can use any kind of ravioli. That's not true. That's not true. I mean, of course, you could if you wanted to. But if you really want to make that St. Louis style toasted ravioli, it's got to be beef ravioli. And not only that, it can't be gigantic ravioli. Here in New York, I ordered it at a restaurant. I saw it on the menu and I was like, oh, wow, I haven't had that in a long time. Let me get that. And it wasn't good. The ravioli was round and gigantic, and I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. It really wasn't the same at all. So try to find small ravioli. This was about the smallest I could find. I got this at Stu Leonard's. I do see where DeChico's has a big, gigantic box of ravioli. I didn't want that many, and I just happened to find, not in the frozen section, but in the produce section by the cheese and Parmesan and all that, I found this ravioli. And it's a nationwide brand. You can find it, but it's not frozen. In order to do this, it needs to be frozen. So I broke it up and I just put it on a tray. If you just freeze it for 2 to 3 hours, it's going to be fine. It's going to work perfectly. So we have our frozen ravioli. Next, we need our breading mix. Easiest thing to do, use Progresso Italian breadcrumbs and, really good Parmesan cheese. I'm going to say, because you can make as many or as few of these as you want. So I used about a half cup of the breadcrumbs and about a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese, put it all in here. You can also make more, you can make a bigger dip, but you don't want to be left over with a ton of breadcrumbs at the end of this. So that's this mixture. I have a pan on the stove that's heating up. It's got about 2 inches of canola oil in it. And once that begins to shimmer, it'll be ready to fry. I'm also going to beat 1 egg. We're going to have it on the side, and we're going to be sort of assembling this as we're dipping them into the fryer. So 1 beaten egg, we've got our bread mixture, and we have our frozen ravioli, and we're going to be ready to go. All right, I have my oil heating up. I want it to be about, 375 or so. If you have a nice little temperature gauge, you can use that. You really want it to be shimmering. You can also just take a few crumbs and drop it in there and see if it starts frying the crumbs. If it's it's not ready. But, knowing the temperature is really good. Now we're going to have to manipulate the heat just a little bit, because the minute we put food in here, the temperature is going to drop. So we have to be aware of that. And we just don't want it to overheat either. So you just have to keep an eye on what's happening. If your ravioli starts to brown far too quickly, that means your heat is too high and you have to, back down on it. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close to 375. So I'm just going to take a ravioli. I'm going to dip it in the egg. And then we're going to dip it in the breadcrumbs. A nice good coating there. And as soon as my oil is ready, we'll drop it in. Working with breading and all that stuff with your hands is a bit of a messy business, so you'll be washing your hands a lot to get all the gunk off your hands. All right, we have reached our temperature. So that means the first one can go in. And that's exactly what should happen. Okay. I hear those nice sizzling sounds when it goes in. And now we'll just watch it. I'll see how many I can get in here at one time. We have our thermometer so we can make sure if we need to lower the heat, raise the heat, we can do that. And every place in St. Louis has this appetizer. Every happy hour. They all have it. It is really good, so it's fun. You can call it a happy accident. And in St. Louis, that accident became a legend. Toasted ravioli was born in the 1940s in the city's historic Italian-American neighborhood known as The Hill. According to local lore, a chef accidentally dropped ravioli into hot oil instead of boiling water, and instead of throwing it away, he served it. Over the years, toasted ravioli became a St. Louis staple. Restaurants across the city added their own spin, but the essentials stayed the same. Ravioli coated in breadcrumbs, fried until golden brown, and served with marinara sauce. Today, toasted ravioli is more than just a food. It's a symbol of St. Louis tradition, Italian-American heritage, and the kind of a happy kitchen accident that turns into history. Backed off on the heat just a little bit because that first ravioli that I put in there cooked a little too quickly. I'm doing it on the stove today because I think I've given up. I have a little Cuisinart frying thing, you plug in and heats it up. And I've had it for, I don't know, 20 years. So it really hung in there with me, but I think it's seen its last fry. So I said, well, we'll just do it on the stove today. And I actually can, make a few more at a time this way. So like most things that I fry, I am going to double cook this because I'm going to let it drain on paper towels. We want to get as much oil out as possible. But then I'm going to put it back in the oven before I serve it, and that will actually release more of the oil. So it'll be a very sort of light, less greasy that way. That's how I do all of it. Onion rings, everything. And if you haven't tried my onion rings, you really should. My brother taught me how to make those onion rings. Worked in restaurants for a very long time, and they really super easy and super good. All right, all of my toasted raviolis have been fried. Perfect. So I'm just going to let them drain. We want to get as much, oil out of them as possible. I just have them lined on a sheet with paper towels. And then right before we serve them, that's where we're going to reheat them. And I'm going to serve them with a little marinara sauce. Jarred marinara sauce. I'm not making it. I'm going to put a little bit of red pepper in there to give it a bit of heat. after we heat them in the oven, we're gonna put them in our serving dish. I'm gonna sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese and serve it with the marinara sauce. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. Okay, now I have to make my sliders. My ravioli has heated through. So now I'm just gonna place them. You can find a pretty dish. This just, I think, is fun. I bought these a long time ago. They're just kind of fun. I think I've secretly always just wanted to be a diner cook. I don't know. I like that. I like that. I like that look. Okay. Well, let's see. Can you get this to go in here? Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, look at that. Now that is a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun. So now we can just put this out. Fantastic. How fun is that? So I'm using Muti marinara sauce, which is all of their products are really, really good. Very tasty. Added just a little bit of red pepper flakes in there. As a matter of fact, I may add a little more. I just heated the sauce up in the microwave a little bit. I just added a smidge because people are coming, but I think these folks like spicy things. And it goes. Take your Parmesan cheese. You're just going to sprinkle it on top. Right in the marinara sauce too. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, so let me just do a taste test for you too. Put this away. Take this one. Okay. Yep. Nice and crunchy. Totally tasty. I like a lot of sauce on mine. Ready? Mm. That's it. That's totally it. Delish. That's beautiful. I can't wait to put this out. You can also put a little bit of parsley on top, give it a little more color, but really, really good. Very fun party food. People are going to love it. They're going to love it because it's something they don't get all the time, unless you live in St. Louis and then forget about it. You can just go out and get it. So if you want this recipe, this technique, just go to almost-martha.com where you'll find this along with all of the other recipes that I've done. But it's a fun one to add to your party repertoire. So thanks so much for stopping by. And we'll just see you here next time, right here on Almost Martha. Thanks, guys. This is really good.